This is still a problem. Too many of you guys are not taking action. Too many of you guys are consuming this content, which is pretty good content, and other guys' content, and not doing shit with it. You're just jerking off about how cool it would be if you could live a lifestyle like this, if that, if this, if that. You're not actually getting off your ass and taking action. And I've discussed this before, but in this video I'm going to discuss more specifics that I've not discussed publicly that will help you get off your ass and actually take action so you can make a location independent income, so you can date multiple women if you want who are attractive to you, so you can move out of your collapsing Western country, so you can actually do these things instead of just fantasizing about them or living vicariously through me or through other people you like on the internet. It's kind of a waste of your time. As a matter of fact, at the end of this video, I will give you what I think is the absolute best method to actually get off your ass and actually start taking action. It's a method that's worked for me. And if you didn't already know, I'm Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0. I make a multi-six-figure location independent international income while dating multiple attractive women, and I teach men like you how to do the same thing. But if you don't take action on anything I talk about, this is kind of a useless exercise, isn't it? This is just kind of a little entertainment for you, and then you go back to your boring, bullshit, oppressive beta male life. And you only get one life. It's not like this is a video game and you fuck up this life and you can try again 14 times. I always remind myself of this, and this is one of the reasons I stay motivated, is that I only get one shot at this life. As soon as I die, I'm gone and I'm never coming back, and I don't believe in an afterlife. So I'm really gone. As soon as I get old and I'm not physically able to do certain things anymore, I can't do those things anymore. I can't take a magical pill and suddenly be able to do those things. Now, maybe in the future we can do that, but I don't know that for sure. I'm not going to bank on that. I'm not going to bet my life on it. Same deal. Let me tell you the difference between why I accomplish certain things in my life and why many of you, not all of you, but many of you aren't doing shit. And you're not accomplishing anything, even though you have more information on how to build an Alpha Male 2.0 life by far than I did when I started on this path 13 years ago or 14 years ago, 2007, whatever that was. I didn't have nearly as much information as you have. I didn't know how to date multiple women at the same time and do it without drama. I didn't know how to have an OLTR marriage. I didn't know how to date much younger women without paying them. I didn't know how any of these things. I had none of these skill sets. I had to come up with this shit on myself or do my own research and do my own experimentation. I didn't know how to have location independent income. I knew how to have a business. I knew how to start a business and make money in business. I was a businessman. I accomplished that much, but I didn't know how to do it location dependent. You have all that data and you're still not doing anything with it. Do it! When I did it with 1/10 or 1/20th the information that you have at your fingertips. And here's why. There are many reasons, but I think this is the biggest reason, I think. And that is that I made my financial goals and my woman goals musts. I made them absolute musts. They must happen. Not it would be nice if it would happen. Boy, wouldn't it be cool if I could date, pretty blonde girls with big tits? Wouldn't that be cool if I could have like 3 women and have sex with 3? That'd be cool. It wasn't that would be cool. It was this must occur. When I got divorced way back in February of 2007, I sat down with myself and I made a pact with myself. And I said, I am never doing monogamy ever again. This will not make me happy. I want to have sex with anyone I want, whenever I feel like it, without having to get permission from anyone else. So that means I'm never going to be monogamous, and I'm never going to have a non-monogamous relationship where I need to get her permission. I'm never doing those things ever again, even if I get a girlfriend, even if I get married. I actually said this at the time. This was, almost a decade before I met Pink Firefly. Even if I get married again, which I figured I probably would at some point, no matter what, I'm going to be monogamous, which means I have to figure this out, how it works, and I have to do this. It's not a would it be nice if, oh, that'd be cool if. It was this must happen. This is also true of my financial life. When I was 18 years old, I've talked about this before, I set a goal for myself to make $100,000 a year by the time I was 28 years old. And the reason I set that goal was because when I was a little kid, my dad was not poor, but pretty much poor. He supported a family of 7. We were very financially strapped. When I grew up, we had no money, and I hated it. I hated it throughout my entire childhood. I said, I am not going to go through this as an adult. I will make a lot of money. I will not be poor, and I will not make an average income, because I saw what average meant, and I said, fuck that. I want a decent amount of money. I want much more than average. This was an absolute must for me. And to get that six-figure goal, that was a big goal I had for a long time, was an absolute 100% must. Again, it wasn't like, wouldn't it be cool if, or that'd be cool if, well, I could buy a cool car. No. It was, this must happen or I will die. There's no other option. This must occur. When I developed the Alpha Male 2.0 business model, and I had a business that was location dependent, I realized that wasn't going to work for me. I saw the writing on the wall. I saw where the world was going. I also saw what I wanted to do with my life. And I knew that having a traditional business, a location dependent business, and having just one source of income, one business with one income stream was not going to make me happy. And I said, this must be different. I must get to the point where I'm having multiple location independent streams of income for the rest of my life. This must happen. And it must be a big, big number, much bigger than $100,000 a year, which is what I was making at the time. Today I make a lot more than that. And these things were musts. And the reason they were musts is because I didn't like the way it was. I hated the status quo. When I made $40,000 a year, I hated it. I hated making $40,000. This was not enough. When I made $70,000 a year, I hated it. It was not as bad as 40, but I fucking hated it. When I made $90,000 a year, I hated it. I didn't like it. When I got to $100,000, I was happy for a little while, and then I hated that too. And so I went further with my financial goals. I hated this stuff. I didn't want to do this stuff. And I was uncomfortable. I was deeply uncomfortable and unsatisfied with what I had at the moment. And that's what most of you have a problem with. You have not made your goals musts because you're too comfortable. You are making your stupid $22,000 a year or $31,000 a year or $17,000 a year or $52,000 a year or $140,000 a year, but it's location dependent, your stupid location dependent job or your stupid location dependent business where you have to be in that city or you won't make your money. And you're like, it's not that bad. I mean, it sucks. I don't like it, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's okay. I'm okay. You're not uncomfortable. You're too comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you're not going to take action to improve your condition. You're just not. You're making fucking excuses and you're justifying your current conditions. Same thing with you guys in your dating lives. You guys who haven't had sex in 8, 9, 10 months, you're like, sex isn't that important. You don't need to have sex. I mean, it sucks, but it's not that important as people like Caleb say. It's fine. No, it's not fine. You're too comfortable not having sex. You guys who are in monogamous relationships with women who are ugly or average looking or fat. There's a lot of you guys. I know there's a lot of you guys in the audience. I get your emails. You're married or you have a live-in girlfriend and on a scale from 1 to 10, physically she's a 4 to you. And you just put up with it because it works. It works for me. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not great, but I trust her and I don't want to go date again. That's too much work. You're making excuses and you're justifying the fact that you're comfortable. And that's why you don't take action. You don't hate the fact that you don't have these things in your life that you want. And that's the difference between you and me, because I hated not having money. I hated being monogamous. I hated not having multiple women on rotation. Here's the other thing. This is weird for me, but this is true. I hated not being able to date really hot girls. That was a big thing for me all the way back to high school. My fantasy, my hardcore fantasy in high school was to date really, really, really attractive women. And I hated the fact that I couldn't do it because I didn't know how. And I would watch other men do it and I'd get so mad. And I would get mad at them and I would get mad at her and I'd get mad at me because I knew it was my fault. I hated it. You don't hate the fact that your life sucks or is mediocre. You're just rationalizing it and putting up with it. Now, before I get to how to fix this, there's something you need to do for me, and you're actually doing this for yourself if you like this content. You need to subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, put a like on this video, and leave a comment. Even if you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. The more interactivity I get from this content, the more this content I will do. So if you like this content, it behooves you to do these things so you can get more of this content. Very simple. Now, how do you fix this? A few ways. Number one is, and I talk about this in the SMIC program at joinsmic.com. That is my monthly audio training and coaching program where we talk about these things in great, great, great detail. And I talk about this next thing in great detail there. And that is something that Tony Robbins or the NLP system, I'm not sure who invented this, either Tony Robbins or the NLP guys came up with this, called a Dickens pattern. And that is, I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now, I'm just going to summarize it really quickly. You stand in front of the mirror and you visualize yourself 10 years from now and you've accomplished none of your goals. You have not improved your life at all. You make the same amount of money and your sex life or lack thereof is exactly the same. The only difference now is you're 10 years older. How do you look? How do you feel? How are you breathing? How are you standing? How do you look as a man? How do you feel about yourself as a man? And then you do it 20 years from now. 20 years from now, you're 20 years older. you've accomplished nothing. It's the same shit. You're the typical beta male who hasn't improved his life at all, except now you're just 20 years older. And you do that and you feel the pain. You feel the discomfort. I've done this several times throughout my life and it really helped. You feel the pain. This is one of the few times I'll tell you to feel negative feelings, because these are very motivational negative feelings. Once you do this and you really feel the pain, you will be chomping at the bit to take action to fix your fucking life, to fix your mediocre life. Because again, your life probably isn't too horrible. It's just mediocre, which means you're too comfortable. The next technique is for you to stop verbally justifying. And I know I'm going to see these in the comments in this video. I know I'm going to see this stuff. It's not that bad. I don't want to go on first dates. I don't like online dating. I don't want to start a business. Why do I have to? My job sucks, but it's okay. You're justifying. You're justifying your own unhappiness. Why the fuck are you doing that? Why are you justifying your own pain? Why are you justifying living a shitty life that you don't like? Now, if you truly love your life, if you think your life is on a scale from 1 to 10, and you're honest about this, an 8 or a 9 or a 10, like I do, if you think your life is that great, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you guys, the vast majority of the audience watch this video, whose life is not an 8. It's not even a 7 or a 6. It's probably a 5 or a 4. Maybe it's a 6, maybe on a good day. You guys, where it's not terrible, but it's not good. You guys, stop justifying your 6. Why are you justifying a 6? If you got a 9, that makes sense to justify that, okay? I could justify my lifestyle. I do it all the time. My lifestyle is a 9.2, 9.3 probably. Financially, in terms of my freedom, my day-to-day life, sexually, my relationship life, all that stuff wrapped up, my investments, everything together, my life is about a 9.2, 9.3. And I can justify that all day because that makes sense. And if your life is a 9, great. But if your life isn't, if you're not making the money you want to make, if you're trapped in a bullshit job you hate, if you're stuck in a location-dependent business, if you're nervous to move out of your collapsing Western country that you hate, if your sex life is lame or non-existent, you shouldn't be justifying this. Every time you comment on a blog or a YouTube channel or these words come out of your mouth like, well, it's not that bad, you are damaging yourself further. You've got to stop doing that. Why are you doing that? Jesus, I would never do something that insane. Why would I justify my own unhappiness? Dumb. Last thing, and this is the best thing. As far as what I know in terms of motivational action and getting yourself in action, and this is going to sound obvious, but nobody does this, okay? I'm going to say this, you're going to say, well, that's obvious, but you're not doing it. And that is to get accountability from somebody. Now you can do this several different ways. One way you can do this is by telling all your friends and all your family that you're going to do a certain thing by a certain date. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is confide in 1 or 2 close people in your life who you trust and who you look up to, that you're going to do certain things by a certain date. You can do that. You can do one of those atomic habits techniques where you can like say, if I don't do this by this date, I'm going to give you $100, or even better, you give your friend like $100. And if you don't work out every day or whatever, he keeps the $100. You can do techniques like that. If you have a little money, you can hire an accountability coach. I have multiple coaches in my life who I pay a lot of money to. I pay these guys a lot of money. I'm a coach. I practice what I preach. I only sell things that I do. I sell online courses because I buy courses myself. I use coaches because I'm a coach myself. I have accountability coaches, and it really helps when you have someone to be accountable to, who you look up to, who you trust, who has a life that you want to emulate, or any of those factors. You can do that. I know that costs a little money. If you don't have a lot of money, you don't have to do that. But if you have a little more money, it's worth doing. I do it. It works very well. Get some accountability. Otherwise, you're by yourself justifying your bullshit life into a mirror, and that's not going to make you happy. And you'll never be happy. And you can watch all these YouTube videos for the rest of your life. You can buy all my books. You can buy all my courses, which you should. You can watch all my YouTube videos. You can listen to all my podcasts. You can do all that shit. And not just my stuff, other people's stuff. That's great. And you'll never do anything. And 10 years from now, you will be that guy in the mirror, staring at yourself in the mirror, that old, shitty, fucked up beta male who said, I could have done this, but I was too busy justifying my shitty, mediocre life. Something you can do is you can watch this video here, which is another video I did on how you can take action. I use some other examples there. But boy, think about what I said in this video. Stop farting around with your life. Get this shit done. It's not that hard. And you have all my resources to help you. See you in the next video.